welcome back. It's nice to see you here.
It seems like I never leave. I'm always here for work or something.
But it's good. It's always good to see you. And a Thursday night matchup, primetime, NFL Network, Fox Sports kind of working together this year, which is great for us as the Fox affiliate. But a special week for you, too. Because at the end of the week, we get to learn a little bit more about your life and your journey through the sport of football. You haven't seen your football life yet.
No, I haven't seen it, man. It's been a few months we've been shooting it, and I think NFL Films, the network, and they've done a great job of piecing together a long journey of football and things on and off the field, things that I went through, and kind of putting that together, man. And it's so many memories, so many things that I went through. So many great times, some things that happened inside my life that helped mold me and shape me. And I don't see how they can put it together in an hour, but they do a fantastic job at doing that. And I'm excited to finally see it. Some executives and people, producers that's seen it, and they keep giving me hints and saying little things. And I'll see it Friday night inside the studio.
I feel a certain connection with you because we're the same age. And I remember.
You're 26?
Exactly. I was interning when you got drafted. I was a senior in college when you got drafted. So I remember I was here in Boston, and I turned to the 93 and 94 draft for the Patriots, obviously, as the turning point of the franchise. You show up, Drew's already there, but the fact that you two guys were the real pillars that this whole thing was built on. I mean, do you look at it that way, that it really turned when you two guys joined the franchise?
Mr. Kraft also bought the team that year, so there's a lot of special things that went on. I would say a piece of it. I think they had an idea of what they were trying to do with Bill Parcells and build this team. And of course, me and Drew is actually the same year. He came out early. So Drew was here, and then I came, and then Teddy, and it just kept coming. And I never looked at it that way because I'm such a team guy. I'm not, more of it's because of you all this thing started. But I'm proud to be a building block in what has now become one of the best franchises in sports history, so I'm proud of that.
Let me ask you what it was like the transition when Bill Parcells left, Bill Belichick came in.
Well, first Pete Carroll. Don't
That's
forget
true.
Pete Carroll came in for 3 years.
I understand that, and they had some success there too, but it was under Bill Belichick that you were able to take it to that ultimate level and win championships. So you did go through the transitions a couple of times.
I did.
What was it like? How did you maintain your focus, and how did you maintain that leadership responsibility too?
I fit right in. Bill Belichick had an idea of what he wanted to do, and he kept a core group of men that was on that team before. He was actually there when Bill Parcells was the head coach when we went to the Super Bowl as, the defensive back and defensive coordinator. And I think he had an idea of the type of guy he wanted to build his team around, and he kept a core group of us on the team, and he built around that. And once he started to put things together and guys bought in, we knew that we were going to have something special. Wasn't instant success, I would say, but a couple of years we started to see things unravel, and for him to deem me as one of those guys that he was going to build around, it's special, especially with his pedigree and what he's done, and the type of player that he looks forward to play within his systems.
Now you get to see so many different teams.
I do.
And that's something you didn't get a chance to experience while you were playing, but you can compare franchises now. And Bill's still here, so it kind of gives you a different perspective. How do the other franchises today compare to how the Patriots do business today?
Well, a lot of people criticize the Patriot way and they talk about it, but I think within every organization there's a Eagles way or Atlanta way or Green Bay way or a Raider way or whatever it is. It just takes a group of men to buy in. You see it happening. You saw it happen with Seattle, when they had that special nucleus of men and everybody started buying in. You see it happen a couple of years ago with Atlanta when they started talking about the brotherhood and everybody putting team first. You see it happening in Tennessee now with Mike Vrabel and him being the coach, getting a group of men to buy in and put individualism to the side for a team. It's dangerous if you can get men to buy in, put aside their egos and all that, and understand that everybody has an important role. Your role could possibly change from week to week depending on who you're playing against, and whatever decision the coaches make or your role is for that week is for the betterment of the team. So when I watch it now, I see all these teams trying to figure it out, and I played on a different team, and I saw what it was when everybody wasn't on the same page and guys didn't buy in to what the coaches were trying to implement, and you won't win. You know, if you got division within, if guys aren't on the same page and there's a bunch of individuals versus team guys and it's about, you know, their own egos and things of that nature, you won't win because the guys won't buy in. You know, players win games, teams win championships.
You can imagine what this first month has been like. Right? People are a little bit used to a stereotypical September swoon, but 2-2 is not the norm, and everyone wonders: is this it? Is this the end? Is this? How should people feel?
I've heard that a year or two ago, right? I heard it last year. I heard it the year before. They talk about age. They talk about slow starts and all those different things. I would say, you know, for New England, they've got a lot of new pieces, especially at the receiver side. You know, Edelman wasn't there, so you got Philip Dorsett and you got Cordero Patterson. You got new pieces. You know, you got Sony Michel working his way back to getting 100% and being involved in the game plan. And, you know, for any receiver coming into this system, it's sophisticated. You know, for any player offensively, it's sophisticated. It takes about a year to learn everything and all the nuances. And then you got to learn Brady and all the in-game adjustments. So I see that constantly growing. And then you throw a Josh Gordon in there, who's only been here a few weeks. So I see all that coming together pretty soon, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Matt Patricia was here for 14 years. He, and along with, you know, Bill Belichick and the other defensive coaches, had a system in place. Now Brian Flores is taking over. Some of the players that are there are new, trying to work themselves back into shape, in football shape. He's trying to put his stamp on his defense and do things a little bit different and add certain nuances to what he's doing. So it takes a time, and for good teams, I never panic. And that's every team across the NFL. I never panic because I know that they'll diagnose what's been going on, they'll make adjustments, and they'll fix it. And at some point early in the season, not later, but early in the season, things will start to come together and they'll play at a certain level.
As we look at tonight specifically, you got a Colts team coming off controversial loss in OT. Patriots rolled over the Dolphins. They certainly have an advantage being home, not having to travel into the short time frame. Give us your thoughts on what you expect tonight.
Well, I expect, I know there's some players not playing for the Colts and they're down a few of their key players, so I expect them to come out and have a scheme. Frank Reich to have a scheme in place to try to play the Patriots. He's familiar. He was on that Super Bowl winning team last year, so he knows the personnel pretty well, so it's not foreign to them to game plan against the Patriots. But like I said, without a lot of their weapons, the Patriots, they've got a history of running the football and being physical up front on both sides of the ball. The Colts defensively have not stopped the Patriots' ground game in, I don't know, the last 4 meetings. And they're one of the best teams at getting after the quarterback. I think the Colts are number 2. So if I'm watching this game, which I broke down a lot of tape, I wouldn't drop back 30, 40 times and throw the ball against the Colts. They're pretty good. Their front four gets after it. They're aggressive. They mix in some blitz zones. They can get to the quarterback with 4 and drop 7. So they're great in coverage where they can take guys away with double teams of that nature. So I expect it to be a physical game, but I expect it to be a running game.
We hear a ton of stories about Tom Brady, but I want to put you on the pedestal and maybe tell us something about Tom that we don't know, that you appreciate, that maybe you appreciate more now that you've seen so many other quarterbacks over your years covering and playing.
He does so much, man, behind the scenes. And I think there's a clip in my football life where I have to grab him up and calm him down and pin him against the wall in the most important game of our lives, the Super Bowl. He's running around headbutting guys, linemen, defensive linemen and linebackers. He's going crazy. He's losing his mind. Just the energy, just the compassion for the game, man. We used to have to calm this guy down all the time. And it's good to see, I don't know how many years later, 19 years later, he still has the passion. He's still putting in all the work, outworking everybody and playing with a boulder, not just a chip, but a boulder on his shoulder. And I'm not surprised by his success and consistency and being an MVP last year in the league when people thought he would fall off a cliff after turning 40, which was amusing to me because I know what he puts into it. But I'm just proud of him and happy to see him playing and being a part of his growth at a young age and seeing him take that and everything to a whole nother level.
It's crazy, isn't it? Unbelievable. Well, it's going to be a fun couple of days. Willie's going to be part of NFL Network's coverage tonight from Gillette Stadium at 6 o'clock. And then tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the NFL Network, it's Willie McGinest, A Football Life. And if you're watching the Red Sox, it will be replayed at midnight. So I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure so many of you can't wait to watch it. Great to have you back, and it's going to be a fantastic time.
Yep.